You are about to witness history in the making.
Hello, good evening and welcome everyone, and welcome to another show of the Pop Culture Gamers. My name's Haydn. I'm here as always with Steve. Hi Steve.
Hello, how are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you. What's been going on in your week, Steve?
Where do I start? It's all woes this week. Firstly, my wife, we got her a brand new car.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little Twango, they call it, a Renault Twingo. Not a bad little car, ideal for what she needs for running around the area. And we park it out on the main street, side of the house. And some spotted teenager's just gone and driven into it.
Oh, God.
So, he had a black box in his car, so they've been notified. We spoke to the parents. All the details, but it's just a ball ache, isn't it? You know, you don't need that when you get a new vehicle.
No, because it'll forever taint that vehicle as well.
Yeah.
Because when I know when years ago when I got my first brand new car, we went on holiday in it, and we went to, I can't remember where it was. We went Taunton or somewhere, and anyway, I was absolutely paranoid about parking next to other cars because of people just swinging the doors open and whatever, because it had scrapes in the paint or whatever. And anyway, we went to this holiday place. It was self-catering. I turned around to my wife and I said, right, I'm going to go and, when we go shopping, I'm going to park us away from where everybody else is. Okay? And this is not a joke, right? I went to this Asda where we were, and there was two car parks. There was one which was like their main car park, and then there was another one which was attached to it, which was their sort of like secondary car park. So I went in that one, and there was one other vehicle in there.
Yeah.
At the front, and I parked at the far end of that car park. I came back, and there was two massive 4x4s parked either side of me. I sort of like, and also really, really close. I mean, to the point I couldn't actually get in.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, you were joking, all of this space, and it was obviously done it deliberately just to irk me. But, yeah, so I know exactly what you mean. You just don't want any damage going on.
No, I mean, the kid, when we went outside there, because I thought it was Mum that was with him that knocked at the door, but that was someone else that witnessed it. So, one of my next door neighbours drove him home. He came back and I saw him at because I was taking details of the vehicle. And he said he was crying his eyes out. When my wife spoke to him, spoke to his mum, said he's going to pay for this because it's off his back, Because then the people that do the black box phoned up saying it's not working.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why that is. So they'll be going down there to get the information off of that. Just to see how fast he was going, probably, as well.
So, was it like a lot of damage, or?
Yeah, well, it's taken the side of the bumper, brought the bumper out, but the thing is, it pushed the vehicle up against the curb, because obviously you park a little bit away from the curb. And when he came away from the tyre, smashed the cover of the tyre.
Yeah.
And underneath that was where you've got the metal rim of the whole what holds the tyre on. It was all buckled one end at the top as well, and I don't know how he did that. And then looking at his car, it looks like his steering's shot. So
he's got to have been going apace.
Yeah, but it can't be that far because we're not that many meters away from the T junction for the main road.
Yeah, but I suppose it depends upon how quickly he came round that corner where your house is.
Yeah, well, it's not easy to just come around there fast, I would have thought, but... Anyway.
Or could he have been coming from the other way?
No, because because of the way the car's parked, it's parked as if it's hit our vehicle, then drove past, and then pulled up on the left-hand side, which is the same side as our vehicle is. But who knows? We just have to wait and see how it goes for this.
Mm.
I just pray it's nothing, untoward that we got to cough up with. So, anyway, that was my first bit of disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was looking forward to picking up an album off of eBay. It said it was there at Sainsbury's for collection. I opened it up, waiting to see a yellow cover pop out of this cardboard box it was in. And it was Fleetwood Mac Rumours. So it wasn't Queen, Flash Gordon. So I contacted the seller. He said, yeah, funnily enough, somebody else has just contacted because the guy that was wanting Fleetwood Mac's got the Queen album. So anyway...
There is a bit of a difference between Queen and Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, there is. I can't think of the woman's name now off the top of my head, but...
Yeah. Were you saying to him, don't tell me lies, don't tell me sweet little lies?
Yeah. So anyway, I contacted him. He's since sent that to me with a sticker to return the other album, which I'll do that Monday. So, but that's pretty cool. It was great to blare that out early today.
What, a bit of Fleetwood?
No. Queen, you numpty.
Well, I thought you might have been having a listen before you sent it back.
No, because it's sealed.
Right, fair enough.
These are new copies.
Okay.
So they're all sealed in cellophane. So yes, and my next bit of woe was Bethesda woe. As you know, I spoke to you a little bit when we were playing Destiny 2 the other night.
Yeah, well, it's because of the dodgy places you've been buying what do you call it from, isn't it? Game, for example.
Well, I didn't have much of a choice for that. So anyway, if we go back to the bag gate from some time ago, and you had to put in your application to prove you bought the Armour Edition, and they turned me down, saying I didn't give them enough information. But I gave them the email to confirm from Game that I purchased it.
Did they not ask you for a receipt?
Well, no, I didn't get a receipt. It was pre-ordered, wasn't it? And it was delivered.
Yeah, okay.
So I had the delivery email saying you paid for blah, 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 and all that malarkey. So I then had my little rant on Twitter, which I did do, because I felt like doing that, because I was really miffed about it. And I then did it a second time. I did exactly the same thing. I then got a quick, swift email from saying, thank you, it's been confirmed that you will be receiving the bag once it's been made. So
it's really poor customer service.
Yeah, it is. And I don't really want to harp on too much about it. But yeah, that's that. That's done. Mm. But the cherry on the cake really was at least Amazon delivered Ace Combat 7 on time when it came out on the Friday. So at least someone can get it right.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that, because just not being able to stretch to that this time.
Yeah, well, there's other things coming out, isn't there, and all sorts, so it's not easy.
No.
But yeah. Well, I've got a fair bit to say about that, and I've had a dabble in the VR as well, so... Which I did last night till 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I think that I'll probably get the PlayStation version for the VR.
But anyway, so how was your week? Was it better interesting than mine was?
No, to be quite honest with you. The week was generally okay. I've been working on my platinums. And, well, as of Friday, when I did the notes myself, I'd completed 7 games, 6 platinums, and 1 1K, because 1 was on the Xbox. But since then, I've done another 2, and I'm working on my 3rd. So really racking up the platinums this month. I mean, knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, well, the main thing is if you're enjoying the games, that's all good. If you're doing it for achievements and you're just trying to crack them out, then that's probably
no. I'm enjoying the games, and actually, what I'm quite glad of is the fact that some of the games are actually cross-buy, so I can do it on the Vita and then do it on the PS4 as well.
Mm.
And you get double bubble for the same game, as it were.
Yeah, of course.
So I've been doing that a couple of times. It's quite nice when you've got the same game free. So I can sit and play it downstairs with the wife and whatever, and then when she goes to bed, come on the PlayStation and whatever. It's rejuvenated my use of the Vita.
Mm.
I have to admit, so I'm really quite pleased about that, because it's been a bit of tech that's just been sat there and doing absolutely nothing.
And to be honest, I think it's going to get, as the year progresses, we're not going to see many games. We're going to see less and less coming out for this, aren't we? And is it March this year when they're going to stop on the PlayStation
Yeah, we've only got
Plus?
2 more months. 2 more months and that's it.
Yeah.
It's just such a shame, and I wish it were bringing out something to replace the Vita. But they're not. So.
Well, consoles, they've sold, 90 million consoles, so they're not probably bothered about getting a portable out.
To be honest, probably know that the market is really tied up with the Switch, and especially if they're going to do this switchless Switch that we talked about last week.
Mm.
It kind of, why does Sony need to go into competition with such a big market leader there? Because the 3DS and the DSs have outstripped the selling of the PlayStation anyway.
See, Nintendo's all about handheld, really.
Mm.
Always has been.
I don't know. I think it's also been about the consoles. It's just their priority has been more about the playable games than the raw processing power.
Yeah.
And the innovation as well. They've always been about the innovation.
Hmm. Yeah, I think they've had that market centre for a number of years, and you try to do something else that may sort of challenge it, but I don't think you can really. It's what Nintendo are all about, really. I know they've had the Wii and everything else that's come out.
Yeah,
but it's always about the handheld.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, also got a bit of bad news in the fact that I'd just been sorting out my parents' house. That's one of the things this year is getting that ready to sort of rent out, as it were. It's been over a year. It's been sat there doing nothing. So my son was staying at home with his grandma, because his grandma lives with us now, and he was streaming his gameplay. Anyway, I get a phone call when we're on the way back. Dad, my account's been hacked. And I'm sort of like...
How? Did he know that?
Well, this is the thing, because he was streaming it at the time, but what happens is Roblox comes up and it tells you have completed this trade. And what had happened was someone had been watching his stream, and I don't know what happened. He was helping someone to do something, which he was showing on, doing on screen, and then all of a sudden, a couple of minutes later, stuff started going out of his account, through these trades. And what's happened, or what we think's happened, is that someone has found out what his password is and logged in and sent both his Robux, which is the currency in the game, and all of his really expensive items, because in that thing that the cost goes on the the digital items, which you can trade, and he'd been trading and all sorts, and anyway, he'd lost over $100 worth of items, all rare stuff.
Jeez. How did they get... Silly, stupid question. How did they get out of his password?
I don't know. I did have a chat with him, and it wasn't what I would have said is a very strong password. We've since had a chat about passwords.
Yeah.
So his account was hijacked anyway. So the person has been blocked. All of this was live on stream as well, so I've got video evidence of it, showing that he hadn't commissioned the trade, but the trade came through.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, and he'd been working hard to sort of get some of these items that were like chase ones, and he'd been working in quite a while to get them. So he was absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. Which, considering this week he was on a high because his number of subscribers has now exceeded mine on YouTube.
How many's he got?
About 350 now. Whereas I've got like about 214, 215. But to be honest, I'm not really doing much on YouTube other than a few unboxing videos and whatever, and I'm not doing it on a regular basis. He's setting his stall out to do regular content.
Yeah,
for the game that he wants. Yeah, exactly, and that's why people subscribe. People, like the way my channel is, won't necessarily subscribe unless they think, oh, actually, he does quite a lot of stuff. I'll just keep my eye out in terms of it, and it's mostly, I think, listeners anyway. So after he'd had that high, then for this to happen, he was devastated, absolutely devastated. So they nicked money out of his account. And all this other stuff as well. So we've blocked the person, reported it to Roblox, and hopefully we'll get some of that refunded. And the other thing as well is his items had like unique serial numbers, so they're easy to track.
Oh, okay.
So, Roblox should be able to see what happened, and they'll be able to tell from the IP addresses if he was lying about it, which he wasn't because it was all on the stream. So, it just goes to prove streaming video games does actually have a benefit. For him, at least. But, I mean, doing that, it's pathetic. Anyway, so that's that. Also thinking about YouTube as well. I've been tidying up the Pop Culture Gamers YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
So, basically what I've started to do is put stuff in the themes of the show.
Right. So,
you've got the show at the top, followed by the gaming this week and the movies, TV and streaming, and, we'll do tech talk and all of that sort of stuff as well. So it kind of follows. So what I'm going to try and do is, if I'm starting a new game, maybe the one that not many people have played before, is actually linking a video of that game in there as well.
Okay.
But what I would say is, we haven't been pushing that channel at all. And we've only got like 41 subscribers. We could do with 100 subscribing to that so that we can actually get the name.
Yeah.
So if anybody is listening and you haven't subscribed, if you can do a search for Pop Culture Gamers and just subscribe to the channel, just to give us enough time so that we can actually name the channel and, protect that for our future of the show as well. Be really grateful for that, to be honest. Just so that we can start building that up. Because what I would like to do, and we haven't really talked about this much, is to start building us up in terms of some of the stuff that we can do, or that we do.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's a few things have been thrown in our path and the way, but yeah.
And we're now. This is our 1 year show today.
Oh, is it? So it's happy birthday then?
It's happy birthday. We're one.
Excuse me. Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a really positive thing, and the reason why I know is because I've just had to pay the hosting fees again.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we did discuss this the other day, didn't we? So yeah,
we did. Yeah, so,
and it's gone up, hasn't it? So
it has. Yeah, that it's gone up by a fifth, which is enough of a rise, to be honest. But just don't forget, if you do want to support the show, and this isn't begging, this is just reality of the show has to be paid for somehow. But if anybody does want to contribute towards the show, please do. We have a Patreon. If we had 100 people do that, well, in matter of fact, if we had 10 people do $1 for each for a year, that more or less pays for the hosting. It's not a lot of money, but it's enough money when it's just after Christmas and you're having to pay it all out.
Yeah.
So just bear that in mind. The other thing as well is, and I think I did mention this briefly before, but I forgot to mention it last week, is we now have an Amazon Echo skill for the show.
That's right, we do.
We do. So that what you can do is say, #device name, because I don't want to set off everybody's Amazon Echoes, but if you say your device name, and then you say, launch the Pop Culture Gamers podcast, it will play the show, the latest show, and you can also skip backwards shows and forwards. So it's bearing in mind I don't do programming. This is the best that I could come up with at the time. I use like a visual sort of programming guide because I've programmed it myself. But what I would say is, if you're listening to the show, unfortunately, it doesn't earmark where you were in the show. If you stop it, it'll start again.
There's no timestamps as such.
No, there isn't. So, fortunately, I haven't got to that level of sophistication. But if anybody wants to help out in improving that product, we're all for help if we can get it from any.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because then that can be updated. The app can be updated to get that in there.
Yeah, because we are, we're a show, but we're also like a community of gamers as well, and it's sort of like everybody helping each other out. And that's sort of like that kind of team spirit I'd like us to generate, really, I think.
Yeah, fine, absolutely.
So anyway, but, and if you don't want to pay, help pay for the hosting by donating $1 or whatever, then fine, but promote the show, do a review for us, retweet or post in other groups, that sort of thing. Because believe it or not, the reason why we don't post in other groups is because as we own the show, we can't post it because the rules are you can't post your own stuff into other groups on Facebook and stuff like that. That's generally a rule, but someone else can. Yeah? So it's just that sort of stuff. There's more than one way to help us out in terms of a show and let us grow, because the bigger that we grow, the better the content that we'll be able to get.
Yeah, it all helps, doesn't it? So it's taken a year to get this far, but we're moving forward great and numbers are up, so it's all looking good. Yeah,
well, I think, to be honest, we've had a year, and the year has been about us finding our feet, getting ourselves into the rhythm, making sure what we're doing is what we want to be doing it and how we want to do it. And, we've got the time and that sort of stuff. So now what I'd like us to focus on is where we're going to go as a show. And let's get us good. That's what I want to see out of this show. I want it to go somewhere. I don't know where.
To bloom.
To bloom, to blossom, for people to think that's the show to listen to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, anything else, Steve?
Not really. Can't think of it. No, it's been a bit of a quiet week, but so looking forward to. I didn't even know about next week yet. I'm getting hold of Resident Evil 2, but that's another story to think about for another time.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, in that case, then we'll go on to gaming this week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
Okay, so gaming this week. Steve, have you got any news? Because I haven't.
No.
Okay.
I think it's funny because we got a few games going to be coming up now between February and March, so things are going to be looking good. But news-wise, it's not a great deal.
No, it's quite a quiet kind of time at the moment in terms of news. I've not really seen anything super.
The only thing I did see a little bit of, not too much, because I'm a bit of a fighting fan, but Mortal Kombat had an event last week.
Yeah.
To show people the new game, Mortal Kombat 11, I think it is now. Blimey, 11 games. But that was all over YouTube and IGN and everyone else.
Mortal Kombat, that really it takes you back, doesn't it? Really.
Do you have? I mean, I actually own Mortal Kombat 10, and it's now on Game Pass, I think, as well.
I've got it on PC.
Yeah. It's not bad, actually. I mean, I think I have more fun playing as Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's where I've got my most fun out of the game.
There was also, just thinking, it was also about the Star Wars game being cancelled as well, wasn't there?
Yes, CA announced that they're going to scrap the open world game. I think, to be honest, Star Wars is getting a bit of a downer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the problem is that what Disney haven't really understood about Star Wars is the rarity of it is what made it special. And subpar films to the type that the fans actually want it struck from canon, it's just not acceptable in that sort of arena. You know, I mean, let's face it, when Star Trek hit its lowest in the films, which was what, Star Trek 5?
Yeah, I'd probably say that's about right.
At no point was anybody saying that film should be struck from canon. They just said it's rubbish.
It was. I mean, people. We all went out to see it. I mean, I bought it on video cassette. It's in the collection.
Yeah,
but it was just one of the poorer ones that William Shatner directed. Pointing the finger there.
Yeah, I mean, it was really poor. But I have to admit, the first 5 minutes of that film, I think, is the best start to a Star Trek film of the original cast. Because that's the bit where Cyborg comes.
Got you thinking, didn't it?
And then he starts laughing and stuff like that. And it kind of like, wow, that is not a Vulcan. That is, this Vulcan's different. And then you learn that he's Spock, but the problem with it is he had this really good intro that then just failed miserably.
Yeah, there was a few scenes in the film that just didn't work really, did it?
No, but I must admit it did have one of the funniest moments in Star Trek as well.
Is that the one with
I know this ship like the back of my hand. Bang.
Well, it's funny because I sort of it was okay when they're out in the sort of Yellowstone Park or wherever it would have been.
Yeah.
And they're in the campfire, aren't they? And, Captain Kirk says, I'll always know I'd die alone. How true was that?
But he didn't know he died with Picard.
Yeah, but he died without those two. That's what he's on about, though. He didn't have, Spock or McCoy with him. That
was a little bit of, I'm going to bull up my character.
Yeah. And actually, believe it or not, if DeForest Kelley was still alive today, it would be his 99th birthday today.
Wow.
Not many people live that long, unfortunately.
No, not a lot of people know that.
No, yeah. But we got other people to talk about that later. But yeah, not a lot going on. But
Yeah. But by the way, it was the Star Wars open world game reported to have been cancelled. So I think that's a subscription-based service that they've already had running. It's not a new game that was in development.
No.
So, but for people who have paid out on month by month, that must be a bit of a kick in the danglies.
Do you think they should just take the license away from EA now?
Yeah, I think they should take it away from EA and give it to Ubisoft. I think Ubisoft are making good games now. And I think EA are just rubbish. To be honest.
You see, that's why I'm a little bit hesitant about Anthem. I'm sorry to say that. I mean, I know we're going off topic here, but I'm not happy with EA at the moment and how they operate and.
No.
But we'll
Well, we'll see.
Only time will tell.
Yeah. Okay, so video game... new releases first, after all. So we have, on the Switch on the 22nd, The Raven Remastered. Again, on the 3DS, we have Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story plus Bowser Jr.'s Journey. On the 25th, we have Resident Evil 2, PC, Xbox One and PS4, and then we also have The Legend of Heroes Trials of the Cold Steel on the PS4.
Not too many coming out, is there?
No, it's a quiet time of year, though.
Just briefly, though.
Just briefly. So, video game chart, Steve.
Yes, so at 5 we have Smash Brothers Ultimate from Nintendo. At 4 we have Call of Duty Black Ops 4. At 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, FIFA 19's there at number 2, and New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe isn't at number 1.
Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
U.
Yes, because it's the updated
Ultimate?
version of the Wii U.
Ah, okay.
Version, yeah. So, and my son's going crackers for that as well.
Oh, really?
He is, yeah, he really wants it. Despite the fact that he's still got his Wii U plugged in and he could just play it.
I can't believe Call of Duty's actually gone down to fun before there. It's
I can know because it's lost its campaign and people that, I think that there was still a good core of people who were playing the main campaign.
Mm.
And I think that they've shot themselves in the foot with it. I won't touch it now.
No.
I have no interest. It's just not a franchise that's doing anything for me at all. So, because I know that you like multiplayer, but I'm not really that bothered about it.
I've lost a lot of love with Call of Duty over the last few years, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I played part of Ghost one year.
I enjoyed Ghost because it had the space station bit.
Mm.
And that was really good. I know that they went on to do Call of Duty Infinite, or Infinite Warfare. But why didn't they do more like that as well? Because they did it well. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. So you did Ghost?
I don't know. I mean, I've got a there's one more I've got, which is from a couple of years ago, I think, which we've had a dabble with and you played with. But I think, because Destiny's such a great shooting mechanic as games go, I think that's why, I've always gone more to that, where I used to look forward to Call of Duty.
Mm.
But, Anthem might be different. We'll see what that's like. I'm
just not convinced. If you speak to people, no one's actually convinced by Anthem, so it'd be interesting to know what that's about, really. Why aren't people so... when we were all, oh my God, Anthem looks like the best thing ever, and to suddenly... Nah, not bothered. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Okay, so we had technical difficulties there. All of a sudden, our call quality seemed to have dropped to minimum, and Skype booted us. So, I'm a bit lost on where we were. We're talking about Anthem and the fact that it's a bit weird that we were all really up for the game, and really nobody was... Is that bothered about it now?
No, we've got Destiny instead, haven't we?
Oh, God. Destiny. No. Even though I have been playing that with you this week.
Briefly, yeah. We got one couple of hours in one night, then you bailed on me for the rest of the week, didn't
No.
you?
I didn't bail on you. I came on the next night and you were in a party already and you had 2 other people with you. And I thought, oh, okay. So I played something else.
Excuse me.
So I was all up for doing it again.
Actually, I was in a party, but I was on my own in Forge.
Right.
In a party chat, but no, we weren't actually playing together.
Right, okay, well, it just said that you were in a party, and given who you were in a party with, I thought, oh, you'll be playing with them.
You should have joined the party, and then like I said, I'm just doing Forge, but we can go and do X, Y, Z, because, as I say, I was just trying to complete a a weapon that I had that I needed to forge, which I eventually did do. It's brilliant. So that's really cool.
Okay,
anyway,
well,
we're not
I almost messaged you, but I didn't because I thought you were.
That's all right.
In a group. All right. So, in that case, then, anything else news-wise?
No.
Because we'd started off with Star Wars about the cancelling of...
yeah.
Just trying to recap where we were because of our sudden interruption. We started off with Star Wars, the cancelling of the new Star Wars game, and then generally had a moan about EA and their new products.
Yeah, and say Mortal Kombat is had its
11 years.
At its premiere, no,
11th version rather.
11th version. There was a big press event for that this week, so that you can see that on YouTube anyway. I'm sure.
Yep, indeed.
So it's all about next week.
Yeah. Okay, so Steve, you've been playing the game I've been wanting to play.
I didn't know you wanted to play this game. Now, my history with Ace Combat does go back a fair bit.
Yeah.
And I remember playing some of the earlier versions on the PlayStation. Because I do like I've played some other types of fighting games, sort of Air Dog style, back in the day, even on the original Xbox.
Yeah.
But Ace Combat is something special for me. And surprised is more... I'd seen the visuals and how this is going to look. And I was all up for this, and I was not disappointed whatsoever with this game. And so, basically, well, first of all, what come with the game? So, I also got a copy of another PlayStation Ace Combat game with it as well.
Oh, was that the last one?
No, well, it was actually Ace Combat 5.
Okay.
So I got a code from Amazon for that, and I got a code for a one of those, the wallpaper, the
interactive special wallpapers. Yeah. Yeah,
so I got one of those as well, and I got a code for a couple more planes as well on top of that. So for £44, it ain't bad.
No, it's not, because it's like £50 on the store, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and this is all. I got the disc version. Also, there is a season pass that they're going to be doing at some point that is in the store at the moment for $19.99.
It's not too much of an expensive season pass as they go, then.
No.
So what I hate is when you get season passes that basically double the cost of the game.
That's it. So, really, this game has got a lot of content within the game. You've got a campaign. I'm on mission 5 at the moment, and there's over 20 missions for the campaign, which I don't think is not bad, to be honest.
That's not bad at all.
That's why it's 50, call it levels, missions, whatever you say. Within the missions, you've got a branching tree to upgrade your planes, biplanes, and the games are all within currency.
And are they in-game currency? It's so you don't have to. It's not pay to win.
No. Basically, what it is when you finish a mission, it will give you a ranking and a grade.
Yeah.
Depending on what you've done within that mission, it will give you these credits, which you can then spend in the. It's not a store as such. There's a branching tree, a tree for upgrades, with planes as well, which branch off to different things that you can pay for and buy and upgrade and everything else. I mean, there's 45 aircraft in this, and that's not to be sniffed at.
No. Because they're not like cars. There aren't that many aircraft. No.
And obviously, you unlock during the game, you'll unlock some different skins, decals that you can put on the planes.
Yeah.
Also, you unlock different weaponry with missiles. I mean, at the moment, I'm using one of the ones I was using on one mission was where I can fire 8 missiles at once, and they all target at once as well on different aircraft. and it just looks it looks amazing. It really does. You're in. I do play it in two different ways. I do play in cockpit, and I do play outside the plane as well. But I think I prefer the campaign. I prefer to be outside the cockpit.
Yeah.
Just for what I'm looking at in that, it's graphically it looks outstanding. If you've seen any clips of the game, you know what I'm on about.
Yeah.
And Namco Bandai's, their cutscenes are pretty cool, and it's got that sense of speed in the game. With these, you're doing these horrendous speeds, and when you're getting close to the water, or if you're low down with trees and everything else, you can see you're going that fast. It really gives you that sense of reality with it. Multiplayer.
So does it have a wake over the water where you're going?
I've not looked to behind me to see if there's a wake as such, but you got there's little touches like when you're in the clouds, there's droplets of water on the craft, and if you're in them too long, you can get ice as well, which means you can't see. So you come out of the clouds, and you can sort of aim towards the sea and that, and you can then it'll demist it. So it has that. I think from what I've heard and what I've sort of researched, most of the planes all sound different anyway, as well. And hearing the missiles when you got a lock on and your computer's saying that there's a missile up your backside, and if you turn and you spin out and it goes past you, you can feel that. You hear it just swoop straight past you. And I'm just loving this game. Just really, I haven't played. I can't remember the last time I played this sort of style game. It's been years.
Well, it's not exactly a popular genre nowadays, is it? Is flight sims?
Well, PC.
Combat.
Well, PC wise, they've always have been, haven't they? They've always been there.
Yeah, I suppose it's because it kind of loans itself a bit better because of the way that PCs are and controllers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So does this, just out of curiosity, there is for like Elite, you can use a Horta stick. Can you use one on this?
There is one that's available that works both with PC and Xbox and PlayStation.
Xbox and PlayStation, not just one or the other.
Actually, I think it might just be PlayStation.
Right.
And I've seen it being used in a review of the game.
Yeah.
And you can see him. He's in the corner of the screen while you're watching. He was doing the virtual reality part of it. Yeah. And it seemed to work well. Obviously, it comes in two parts for your left and right.
Yeah, it's the same stick as I used to have, and I used to play Elite Dangerous on.
Yeah.
Before I got the X52s.
But then, the bonus of actually having VR in this game is amazing. You cannot imagine the smile on my face when I started this up.
I bet I can.
Yeah. The first mission, you're on an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
You're inside the aircraft. It lifts you out onto the platform out on the top of the aircraft there, and you see the first F-16 or whatever it will be would then just shoot off and up into the sky, and then it's your turn, and you throttle down there, and I'm looking around behind me, left and right, and then as soon as I put that throttle on and that speed as I took off and came off the edge of the aircraft and then sort of descended into the sky was just amazing. It really was. And I love it. I think this is what VR is all about.
Yeah, I do think flight simulators and whatever are the ones that really loan themselves to VR. And driving games as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because what is great with this is that you don't have to worry about stand-up with a plastic toy in your hand,
Yeah.
as such, for a weapon.
That can sound wrong in the wrong circumstances.
Excuse me. But obviously I was using a controller.
Yeah.
I got a chair from in the kitchen where my dining room is. So I just sat a standard chair there.
Have you got the old Move controllers?
Yes, I have. I do have those. I do have a set.
Do they work with the game?
Not as far as I'm aware. I didn't actually look on the box, to be honest. But I don't think they can too much. But I'll look into that and let you know. But that first mission was amazing.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the second mission, which I've not completed, oh my God. You're in a hangar. The hangar bay doors open and you taxi out to the runway.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an almost godden war going on around you. There's cannons that are perched between the runway, firing in the sky. There's planes falling out, hitting on the grass beside you.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, we're attacked into the main start of the runway. This bomber's coming down, angling his right wing at you. And you're thinking, is he going to hit me? Because at that moment, I can't do anything about it. And he just goes over the top of your head and crashes. And then as you taxi round to the right and you take off, another plane's coming down and crashing on the landing strip as you're going up. And you sort of just missed him as you went up. I mean, oh boy, it is something to be... You've got to witness it to believe it, to be honest.
Hmm.
Now, whether or not it's, you want to spend that sort of money on that sort of game. But boy, I tell you, I loved every bit of it. I cannot. This is what shows off the VR for the PlayStation, to be honest.
Yeah, and to me, I think VR will always be about making sure you've got the right type of game to play.
Yeah, and unfortunately for PC owners, PlayStation have got the exclusive on the VR for a year.
Boo.
So they'll have to wait for that part of it. But the game is coming out shortly for PC owners.
Yeah.
But I'm up in there. I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm sitting there cruising along, and I'm just sort of, I'm looking to my left and to my right, looking at the sea. And I was doing spins and all sorts. But do you know what? I was surprised for myself because I didn't know how I was going to handle it.
Mm.
But I had no problem with any sort of sickness. I had none whatsoever. And I was pulling back, doing verticals and all sorts of things with the plane.
Do you think the Pro makes it better in terms of VR?
In what way?
Well, in terms of that extra power?
Well, I think for the Xbox as much as the Pro as well, they're both going there hitting 60 frames.
Mm.
There's not a lot out there graphically that you're going to see compared to Call of Duty, for example.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it benefits.
But then again, you're also talking about, although maybe there is probably, because you're seeing further, if you're seeing the ground, there's all of those objects that have to be drawn and scaled.
Yeah. And
so you're seeing a longer distance than you would be. So I think it'll probably balance itself out, really, to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, the latest mission I just completed this afternoon. I did mission 4, it was.
Yeah.
And this one was a stealth mission. So what you had to do, you had these, on the radar, you had these red bubbles, which were the radar you mustn't go into, that area.
Yeah.
So you have to steer the plane through the bubbles of radar so you're not detected.
Mm-hmm. And
then you get to the middle, then it all kicks off, and then that's the mission starts. And it's the planes. I don't know what it is now. Even when I get hit by a plane and I look around, I can see it on fire. I don't know. I can't really explain it, but then actually experiencing it. Mm-hmm. And at one point, I did blow up because I got hit that bad. And as I'm looking at my knees in VR in the plane, and as I do the steering with the controller, the stick's moving with the hand as well at the same time. And then smoke was coming up from my knees where the plane was on fire. It's,
Yeah.
If I don't know how much it would take for them to give us a complete combat game like this totally in VR. I think for the product's point of view, it might not be sort of profitable to do that.
Mm.
But if they can add some more missions with the season pass, whether that is a thing or not, I don't know, but it would be great. But it doesn't matter. The 3 missions that are there are a joy to play.
Yeah.
And you can play them in 3 different scenarios with, easy, hard, and whatever.
Mm.
But it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I cannot praise this game enough.
Oh, that's good. I look forward to playing that then.
And I haven't played the PlayStation this long for a long time.
Yeah, I was going to say, your PlayStation, it's sort of like being just a dust collector, hasn't it?
Well, literally, wasn't it? Because I had to clean it out a bit.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I really recommend this game. And if you've got the VR headset, I would say definitely buy it.
Okay.
So, really, that's what I've done this week, I think, to be honest.
Other than Destiny.
Yeah, but I've done nothing new in Destiny, so I don't need to talk about that.
Fair enough. Okay, well...
What about yourself? What have you been up to?
Well, I've played a couple of new games. Well, new for me, I should say. First off, Starlink Battle for Atlas on the PS4. Have you heard of this?
No, I haven't.
Right, okay. This is kind of the new generation of the equivalent of Skylanders. As in, you can buy toys to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is sci-fi orientated. So it's like you buy a spaceship, you buy the guns to go on it, you buy the character to go in it, and it literally goes in it. And basically, unlike Skylanders, where you had the portal that you put stuff on for the near-field device to work, this time you clip something onto your controller.
Okay.
So slightly different, but but you can change them as well. They've got what looks like a USB port on each one, but it's where you don't have the outside and it's just like that, circuit board with some metal strips on. It's like something like that sticking out. It looks like a small USB, or smaller than a normal USB, but that sort of general kind of, like luggy shape. So, and the reason why I got this was because it was dirt cheap. These games were, I think, about 60 quid when they first came out, and Currys were selling it for 15 quid. And I'd heard it was quite a good game. I'd seen it at EGX. I'd seen it at, Insomnia. And I thought, I quite like the look of that. So, basically, it's a sci-fi based game. And, like I said, you clip this thing onto your controller. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to actually charge your controller. It just powers the device. And that actually gives that controller quite a bit of weight when you get that on. Because this, unlike the Skylander figures, this thing's about 7 or 8 inches long. So it's quite large when you consider that then clips over the top of your controller near where your thumbs are. You can still access all of your buttons and the pad because of the way that this mount works, but you can definitely also feel the weight of it. And what this means is that when you're playing the game, you can take guns off and put new ones on the fly or whatever. The good news is, Skylanders, they were all like £15, £16 for each character. For guns, you can get those for like $4.99 for a pack of 2 guns, or £3.99 for a character, and the ships with guns and a character cost $11.99. So they're a lot cheaper than the Skylanders were. In terms of what you get, but also, and this is what I really like, is that if you don't want to buy the physical version, you can buy a virtual version.
How does that work?
Well, basically, it's like buying a gun for you, or a ship, or something like that. Or you can buy a pass, which normally is £60, but it's on 50% off at the moment. So it'll keep going back to that or more off, where it gives you all of the characters, guns, and ships in the game.
Oh, cool. So
if you don't want to have all of the, junky toys around the place, you don't have to have them. And I like that. Now, the other thing as well is, this has, the Switch version, because my son's got the Switch version of this game, has Star Fox McCloud in it with his ship. So, licensed Nintendo character within the Starlink game, which is really cool as well. I don't know if it'll transfer over to the PlayStation sort of side of things, because what I do remember is that when Adam got Bowser in the Skylanders, that wouldn't play on Xbox. It was a PlayStation exclusive, literally.
Oh, right.
Which is a bit odd, really, that one version, or one manufacturer can actually sort of like content lock a digital character like that to just their own platform. I would have thought, if you'd have had the Skylander, the whole point was you could take a Skylander from an Xbox and put it on a PlayStation and a Nintendo, but no, evidently not. Or not for their all intellectual property. So what's the game like then? Well, how can I describe it? It's a sci-fi game, obviously. Basically, your ship is attacked, you lose your warp drive, which runs off this, I think it's Nova energy. And your captain is kidnapped, and you play one of a number of characters, and you have to go and rescue that person. I mean, all of the characters that are there are all these little figures that you can buy either in, physical copy, which would transfer into the game, or a virtual one. And let's say all the ships and all of that, all exactly the same as well. So the game looks like No Man's Sky mixed with a Star Fox game. And it is absolutely beautiful to play. Really is beautiful to play. A lot of the missions, which are mostly ground-based, because there are a number of planets in the system that you're in. I think there's something like 18 planets or something like that. But where on the game, you fly down to different planets, you undertake different missions, and collect resources and that sort of thing. And then you can improve your allies' bases. You can improve your ship, by getting better shields, better guns, or, attachments to improve your gun firepower, your health, all of that sort of stuff as well. So there's that, bit of an RPG element in there as well. But the sort of, the visuals look like an updated No Man's Sky. If you see what I mean, a bit more detailed.
I just had a quick look on YouTube, so I know what you're on about.
Yeah.
How would you say the game was again?
£15.
No, how old?
Oh, it came out at Christmas.
Oh, okay, so it's not that long ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad, actually, as sort of as that colour to it, that palette.
Yeah. It's very much the No Man's Sky kind of palette, but with some more greens and blues in there, because No Man's Sky was very sort of like purples and pinks and that sort of thing. But yeah, and actually, it's not a bad game. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's got great depth, and the missions will probably be getting to be a little bit repetitive. They're very much go over there, find this, shoot them, come back, and we'll do a trade sort of missions. You know, that, and they're all quite repetitive in that sort of way, but they're enjoyable to do, you know, they're fun. The boss battles are not exactly easy either. So yeah, I think, to be honest, for the price, it's an absolute steal, because a month ago, people were like paying 50 quid more for this game.
Yeah.
You know, it's fallen so fast. I've only ever seen the physical copies that you can buy on Amazon as well, and you can't even buy all of them.
Yeah, is there any particular reason why it's sort of fallen out of love?
I think, to be honest, because this is something that you've avoided because of the age of your kids. But we have millions of bloomin' Skylanders. I mean, 2 foot by 2 foot by 1.5 foot size boxes full of Skylanders. They're worth nothing because they were mass produced, you know. And if you got a really rare one.
I mean, if you go to like a CX or a game, you see them sitting in shelves like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, like 10p for it and stuff like that. And I think, to be honest, they ended up always getting sold off really cheap. I mean, I remember the year before last, when we went on holiday, me and my son went into, where was it? Was it Smith's? And, you know, see if they've got any offers on Skylanders. We walked in and said, we're just giving them away because we just want to get rid of them. We're not selling them.
Sad, isn't it?
It is, because Skylanders was so big at one point. And to be honest, there weren't bad games, but this isn't bad at all. This is quite a nice little sci-fi game. I mean, it's very kid-friendly, as you can imagine, with, you know, the type of peripherals that you get with the game. But yeah, it's a bit of fun. It's a good one to play with the kids. And you can actually play co-op, but you have to obviously have your other attachments, evidently.
Yeah. Will you be searching for them?
No. To be honest.
But for 15 quid, it wasn't bad, was it? For
15 quid, I mean, God, you know, it's not a lot of money. It's got a good few hours of gameplay in there. It's something that I'll keep dipping in and out of, to be honest. Quite enjoyed it. You know,
achievements okay for that game, are they? Or trophies, should I say?
Trophies, I don't know, to be honest, because I didn't look. You know,
that's unusual.
Well, I just thought this'll do, because I've been looking at this at the shows, and I thought it looks quite good. You know, when people were playing it, and it was always getting massive, you know, amounts of people around it and playing it and that sort of stuff. So it's one of those things that's intrigued me, and actually I'm glad I picked it up. I wouldn't have wanted to have paid 60, 70 quid for it.
No.
But I think anything below 25 quid's quite reasonable for this. And I do think when the digital pack comes, you know, the season pass, whatever, for all of the digital content, comes below 20 quid, I think that would be worth it as well. But I wouldn't say so right now, because it's 30 quid at the moment. I think that's just a little bit too steep for my money.
Yeah.
But obviously there are different elements in terms of when you're firing. So, you know, there's like ice and fire and, kinetic weapons, and you can get other ones, and you need them to better take down certain bosses.
Okay.
And you can do double damage by using fire and ice, because you can get a thermal shock on bad guys, which will make the health go down faster as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, you know, it plays very much like a traditional sort of Star Fox game, really. And you can fly from planet to planet, and also the going into space and coming down to planets is completely seamless. Very well done, I think. Just like No Man's Sky, because they did that really well as well, I think.
I miss. Do you know? I think it's wrong. I've never hardly played that game.
You need to go back to it. Because they've done so much to No Man's Sky as well. It's not the game it was.
No.
And, they've got all the base building and stuff like that. And I think they've now done underwater bases you can do.
Crazy.
So there's loads and loads of stuff. It's well worth digging it out. And also they added another 20 or 30 hour storyline along with the Atlas storyline that was already in there as well. Multiplayer's in there.
Yeah, cool.
But that's No Man's Sky. That's not in Starlink, obviously.
No.
Okay, so the second game I've been playing is one that my dad suggested that we should play it because we'll like it because it's Destiny kind of esque. And that's Warframe.
I've got a funny feeling I've had a look at this some time ago.
Yeah,
but I don't really remember.
No, I think it's one that they've developed quite a bit since then. Because when I last played Warframe, it doesn't feel like the same game as I played.
Right.
So basically, it's a Destiny kind of clone, but third-person game. You have lots of weapons like katanas, crossbows, flamethrowers, etc. You can explore massive landscapes within the game. There are 18 worlds. Actually, that might be where I got 18 from, rather than being on Starlink. I'm not too sure how many worlds on Starlink. 18 worlds within the game, which is really set in a sort of like dystopian future where clones and capitalists, sort of rule the world. You can play co-op with up to 3 friends, and there are 38 million people in the Tenno community. There's an RPG leveling system. Graphically, it looks really, really nice. And really, you're not shelling out any money for it. It's free to play. So it's not really a risk, is it, either? Worth a look. I've already done like a few missions just to start off with it, but it kind of feels like a third-person version of Destiny, but with different aliens.
Does it come with a lot of free content?
No, not really. But I did have bits of free content that I'd unlocked from various different sources. So, and it's, on all formats, all major formats, PS4, I think Xbox and PC. So there's lots of ways that you can play the game.
Oh, cool.
Other than that, the only other game that I played is, and I haven't 100%ed this, which is why I didn't count it in my count before, but I completed Planet Alpha again. And I did a bit of streaming of that as well.
Any particular reason why you went for it a second time?
I enjoyed the game.
Okay. Wasn't any trophies or achievements you needed to clear up?
Well, it was because I was playing it on PlayStation. I'd already 100%ed it on Xbox.
See, there's always an ulterior motive to playing that game.
No, I like the game. It's really good. It is. It's one of the best platform games, and that's now on the Switch, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
So, and I think it'd be ideal for that platform.
Yeah, interesting.
Sounds it as you yawn.
Sorry, no, I've been knackered today, absolutely knackered.
Oh, so have I. I was up until 3 this morning. Anyway, shall we go on to movies, TV and streaming?
Why not?
In quest of a better life.
Okay, so we have news, few bits of news this week. Steve, do you want to hit us off with the Star Trek news?
Yeah, because it's all about Star Trek now, isn't it? Not Star Wars, which I'm loving. So, Michelle, can never say her surname.
Yo.
Michelle Yeoh, isn't it? Yeoh? Yo.
Yeah.
So Michelle Yeoh, who, if you remember, played in Star Trek Discovery as Philippa Georgia, is getting her own spin-off series. This is going to be centred around the former Terran Empire leaders' adventures as a part of Starfleet's covert operations for Section 31.
Woohoo! Those of you who don't know who Section 31 is, shall we help them out there?
Go ahead, go on, you spill the beans.
All right, Section 31 is a covert part of the of Starfleet, and featured very prominently in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, because Dr. Julian Bashir kept getting recruited to do jobs for them, like I think on the episode Our Man Bashir. But also Section 31 is the department that John Harrison, also known as Khan, worked for on the Kelvin timeline, and is Section 31 was also, that was where what was his name, who used to play on Doctor Who when he was on the Star Trek Into Darkness movie, dropped the ring into the water. That was a Section 31 base.
Oh, what the yes, I know you're about now. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Anyway, so just to fill you in, so it's like the KGB of Star Trek, or MI5 or whatever.
Wasn't the idea of a black alert a part of their idea of the red alert? Wasn't it? I think
no. Right. Black alert indicated that the Discovery was going to do a jump.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting confused now. So this makes a 5th confirmed Trek series. So we got Discovery. We've got Lower Decks, which I'm not too sure about.
It's about staff on a ship in the lower decks, so it's not centred around the
poor
the
men,
core
the poor
characters.
People. Yeah. I'm seeing an untitled Picard series, which will be interesting as well.
Well, we know that's going ahead because Patrick Stewart's filming that now, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So whether or not that will come out this year still.
Hopefully.
I did see a poster saying it could be the fall, but we'll see.
I think it will be. Will be. But there's also an animated show in development as well.
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about that, to be honest.
Do you know what? Don't knock it, because the best thing at the moment coming out of LucasArts in terms of Star Wars is actually the animated series.
I'd take your word for that.
But seriously, it is, and it's actually really good quality. They, especially Star Wars Rebels was really good. Star Wars Clone Wars was. They left Clone Wars on a high and have actually brought it back, or they're bringing it back. So it's going to be interesting, because for the first time we're going to have Star Wars and Star Trek competing on TV, both in the kids arena and in the adults arena, with the live action show. TV's going to be good.
Yeah, more than merry, that's what I say.
Yeah. So what do you think about this with Michelle Yeoh?
I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what we're doing. I'm hoping it's not going to be overkill for Star Trek. Do you know what I mean? Because we've obviously, I know we're disappointed with the Kelvin timeline going pear-shaped. And with Discovery on a second season and Picard series looming, would the third series get lost a little bit?
I don't think so.
Depends when they bring them out. I mean, if they're going to have a break, like they do for Discovery, basically what you mean, you might have one or two show overlap through a whole year, so that won't be too bad.
And I think that's exactly the way that they'll go as well, to be honest. Because that's what happened with, Next Generation, Discovery and Voyager. They had that overlap, and the shows interplayed sometimes between each other. Like, for example, I think, didn't Voyager interplay with both? Or was it just Deep Space Nine? It's just Deep Space Nine, wasn't it? Yeah,
well, Next Gen tagged on the end of Deep Space Nine for the beginning of that show.
Yeah. And they had 2 years of overlap there. And then they had the same for Voyager. Voyager is such an underrated show.
More so than Enterprise.
No, Enterprise is a really exceptionally underrated show. You know, what people forget is that was set before Discovery. Well before.
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyway.
But, what's your
more Trek, basically.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we want.
Yeah, so sorry if you don't like Trek and you listen to this show, because we will be talking about it at some point. Anyway, moving on. The new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer is released. And that's set after the events of Endgame. So, obviously, there is going to be some sort of resolution to the big snap. And our beloved neighbourhood Spider-Man has a bit of a bigger neighbourhood because he's going across Europe when he is hijacked by Nick Fury to start doing missions as an Avenger, which is great. So that's set for release on the 18th of July after Captain Marvel in March and Endgame in April. Yeah, We've got a busy few months.
They got it all planned out, haven't they? Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm also going to see Glass this week as well.
Have you seen the other two now completely?
Yes. Yeah.
Because I think the last one is on Netflix now, isn't it?
It is, but I've got it on Blu-ray as well.
Yeah. But I need to watch. I think I need to watch the first two again. I'm not sure. I do apologise. Oh, excuse me. I'm not too fussed about these movies, to be honest.
I like them personally. But
there are
each to their own.
I mean, I'll probably end up seeing them eventually. It's
yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson's good in everything he does anyway.
Oh yeah, of course he is. Yeah, absolutely.
You know. But
yes, it's good. It's nice we're going to get. I know everyone's talking about the Avengers, but we've still got Spider-Man and everything else to slot into place first of all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Spider-Man is an Avenger. Anyway, tell us who you're going to call.
Well, how did the internet explode for this story?
Oh God, yeah.
And where I think I first saw this. Did I see it on Facebook or was it on Twitter? I think it was Twitter because Dan Aykroyd posted that he found Ecto-1. So all this means is that we know we're getting a new Ghostbusters.
And Ghostbusters 3, not a Ghostbusters.
But more importantly, it's Ghostbusters 3 from the original universe.
Yes.
So Ghostbusters 1 and Ghostbusters 2 back in the 80s, and this one will be set some few years in advance, I should imagine.
And do you know what the funny thing is? I was reading before we started recording the show that some one or more members of the cast of the female Ghostbusters are complaining because this Ghostbusters 3 is completely ignoring that pile of trash that they produced and just sticking to their own storyline. And they're complaining about that, despite the fact that their film did not reference the original in any way.
Yeah.
How's that work?
I think the girls. I mean, Ghostbusters. It doesn't matter what you say. Is all about the original movie, and when you put in a remake or a redo regarding having girls as the Ghostbusters, surely you must somehow forgive the director for not having who you want in that film and reasons why, and therefore then giving maybe a cameo or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
But also set it as like a sequel to it. But do you know what? I think this is the first time I've ever known in movie history where you've had an original, it has been remade, and then they've done a sequel to the original. And not the remake. I can't remember any other film franchise that has done that.
And also, the director is Ivan Reitman's son. So it's got the right backing for the film. Dan Aykroyd obviously tweeting about it looks happy about it. We're assuming we're going to see some of these guys back in some shape or form.
Yeah.
And as I did tweet, and I think I did get quite a few replies about this, because I put on Twitter to say, does anyone know where? Oh, boy, it's just gone right out of my head. The guy from Little Shop of Horrors.
Rick Moranis.
Thank you. Because he went underground, basically. He's had kids. He had trouble at home. And he's not done movies for years. So his kids are all grown up now. And I'm hoping they can get him involved in it somehow.
Yeah, they're supposed to be trying to bring back all of the original cast, which good luck on Egon because he died.
Well, as you joked about,
he might be a ghost.
He might be a helpful ghost for all we know.
Yeah.
But then again, this might be about a new generation of Ghostbusters being trained with the old Ghostbusters, maybe.
I would have thought that it would have been something like that, or they've been brought out. Maybe they retired and then they've been brought out of retirement by something that's helped because they thought that they'd solved the problem with ghosts or whatever. Something like that, I think.
Yeah, I have got Ghostbusters 2 in ultra high definition on my Skybox, and I started to watch that, and that print looks damn good.
Yeah,
it really does. I mean, I've got the Blu-ray of Ghostbusters.
I've got Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on Blu-ray, and I've been watching that.
And they look pretty cool, I must admit.
Yeah, well, they were good movies when they were made.
Yeah.
All the best movies started in the late 70s, early or in the 80s.
I would disagree with that, maybe, but I would say mid-70s at least. But there you go.
I said mid to late. Anyway,
do you want to finish with the sad news? Yeah,
a bit of sad news is for all of those of us who grew up in the 70s and 80s. Windsor Davies, the actor and star of It Ain't Half Hot Mum, has died. Windsor, who was 88, was probably best known as a sergeant major in Ain't Half Hot Mum. He was the one who was always shouting all the time. But he also starred alongside Donald Sinden as two rival antique dealers in the long-running ITV sitcom Never the Twain. Do you remember that one?
Yes, I do.
I used to love that. I really used to love that show.
Yeah, I think it's not as prominent as It Ain't Half Hot Mum.
No.
But I can't see BBC airing one episode of that for
I can't, especially seeing it was an ITV.
No, I'm on about BBC actually showing It Ain't Half Hot Mum on TV now. I don't think
it's not politically correct.
If you look at that tweet I put out there that was with Windsor Davies talking about you lot are all puffs.
Yeah,
it is a hilarious show for what it was.
For the period it was.
Yes, right.
It is a show of its time. That's the thing. And it hasn't aged as well. But because views have moved on, which is fair enough. But
to be honest, I thought he was already dead, to be honest.
I have to admit, so did I.
When I saw the news, I was thinking it was one of those Facebook trolls where you're going to retweet something that was from BBC from 19 whenever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went straight onto the BBC website.
So did I.
to double check.
Yeah.
And the news was confirmed there.
Anyway, evidently he died on Thursday. But, I mean, one of the things that a lot of people don't realise, I mean, he retired from acting when he was in his 70s. So he's been out of the scene for at least 10 years.
Mm.
But he was also the voice of Sergeant Major Zero in the sci-fi series Terrorhawks.
That's right, yeah.
But he also had roles in more than 20 films, which included 2 Carry On movies.
Yeah, because there's one I remember where they're camping.
Yes.
No, this wasn't I don't think this was Carry On Camping. It was another Carry On movie, I think.
Yeah.
where he was with his mate in the caravan in the tent. And no, they were in a caravan, weren't they? We were trying to chat these girls up.
No, it was Carry On Camping.
Was it? You sure?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
it was the one where Barbara Windsor was doing her exercises and a bikini top flew off. Do you remember?
I do remember that. I couldn't remember whether or not that was the same one.
That was the same one. Because it was supposed to be a nudist camp and the word... That was the same one.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I mean, he did a lot of stuff over the years. I mean, his acting career, I mean, I think the comedy in the 70s, he did a fair bit.
Yeah, he was also famously quoted at saying, thank God for it ain't half hot, but it stopped me from being a good actor.
I'm just gonna go through. So he was in Carry On Behind, Carry On England.
Oh, that must have been the ones he was in then. I thought it was in Carry On Camping.
No, you see, that's what I thought. He did. He was starring in such shows as the Dick Emery Show.
Yeah.
If you remember that. And let's have a look what else he was in. He was in a few TV dramas of the time. But yeah, no, I think those are the two Carry On movies he did. Carry On England and Carry On Comrade. And Carry On Behind as well.
I was sure he was it. He was on Carry On Camping.
Yeah, I'd have to look later to double check, because if I remember rightly, it was with Bernard Bresslaw. He was with in the caravan.
Yeah,
do you remember Bernard Bresslaw?
Yeah,
the real tall guy, wasn't he?
No, he was one of the two tall guys who was on the Carry On movies. Yeah,
yeah. And I'm just going through the Carry On movies on Internet Movie Database. Just have a look. Carry On Camping. Here you go. Look, let's have a quick look. So let's look at all the top cast. So Sid James, Charles Hawtrey, Joan Sims, Kenneth Williams, Terry Scott, Barbara Windsor, Hattie Jakes, Bernard Bresslaw, Julian Holloway, Delia Slay. And as I scroll down, I cannot see Windsor Davis. So I'll have to look later. I'm curious as to which one he was in.
No, it was on Carry On Behind. It wasn't on Carry On Camping. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But, you could do a podcast on Carry On movies on its own, you know what I mean?
Maybe we should do a special on that at some point, because there's so many of them. And do you know what? Even now, I keep thinking I've seen them all now, and then another one comes out with a work from somewhere.
Well, to be honest, there was the last one that came out was so awful, it just tainted the Carry On. It
did, the one with
Julian Clary.
Julian Clary. Oh God, that was terrible. But then again, look, you had Julian Clary, and he's awful as well.
No, it wasn't the same as what they were. Do you know what I mean?
No. That sort of movie died when Sid James died. To be honest, that was a time to stop him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we sound like old men. Well, we are old men. Well,
excuse me. Yeah, but I think we should have to do a Carry On special at some point. That'd be well worth a laugh.
I do. Matron. Anyway, let's go on to cinema releases. So, cinema this week we have Vice, The Mule, A Dog's Way Home, Destroyer, Second Act, and Love, Sonia.
There's one for me there.
Which one?
The Mule.
Right.
That's with Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yes, it is. God, he looks old now, doesn't he?
He looks ancient in this one, doesn't he? He's like a drug runner of some kind or something in this film.
He looks like he needs to be rehydrated, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and probably give him a good iron. He really has. But yeah, no. This may well be one of his last movies. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, quite possibly.
I know that's sort of pending doom on him, but he's not getting any younger.
No, definitely not. No, he's certainly showing his age now.
Yeah.
But never mind. So you want to do the Blu-rays? Tell us which ones you think.
Well, there's a stack. There's a stack out as usual. You've got Killjoy Season 4 highlighted.
Yeah, well, that's something that's on Sci-Fi.
Okay.
I'm quite sure it's something that some people will be quite interested in.
Yeah. Westworld. That recently it was what's his name's birthday, wasn't it, this week? The lead in that movie?
Yeah.
Do you know I can't? Terrible. I'm so tired tonight. Brain switched off. Van Helsing Season 2. That's on Netflix, I think.
Yeah, but it's also on Blu-ray and DVD.
Yeah. Other than
it's not
that,
Westworld, it's Waterworld.
That's what I said. Did I say Westworld?
Yeah.
No, I meant Waterworld.
You mean Kevin Costner?
Thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
Westworld. I don't know what that's in my head for. Other than that, there's not a lot coming out I can see this month.
Yeah, I mean, there is a list of thousands again. I mean, if you like NCIS, that's coming out as well. But, I'll tell you one that was actually really good and watched this week was Brexit, the Uncivil War. Did you see that when it was on TV? Because that's been released as a DVD now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
Can't believe that this political BS that's going on at the moment is turning into this. But I don't want to go on about that.
No, definitely not.
Anyway, do you want to do the cinema charts then?
Yeah, okay, so cinema charts. At number 5, we have Bumblebee. At number 4, we have Aquaman. At number 3, we have Mary Poppins Returns. She's obviously popping out again. At number 2, it's still not the favourite, but it's the favourite. And at number 1, we have Stan and Ollie.
Absolutely, great.
To do the Blu-rays.
Okay, so 5 at 5, we've got The Meg, which I do actually want to see that at some point.
Yeah, I'd rather see an old Meg Ryan movie than that, to be quite honest.
No, it'd be a laugh. 4 at 4, we've got Deadpool 2, another movie I've still not seen.
You've got to... It's not as good as the first one, but it's funny.
No. From 7 up to 3, one of your favourite movies, The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, that's popped right back up the charts, hasn't it?
I don't know why that is, but hey-ho. Staying at 2, we've got Mission Impossible Fallout, and still at 1 we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
So now we'll change there at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think I have some impending big Blu-rays coming out at the moment. I know, obviously, next month I've got 2 movies coming in the post. So Halloween 2018 is coming out next month.
Yeah.
And to complete my collection of the John Carpenter 4K remasters, They Live is being released, which I got pre-ordered.
Yeah.
Which was never been... Originally, when the others came out, this wasn't in there at all. All there was the Blu-ray, and there was a nice tinned copy of it as well. But I'm glad I'm waiting now, because I'm getting Studio Canal, who designed these box set remasters that we've been doing, are doing exactly the same with this one as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not John Carpenter, but it's Stanley Kubrick, but I want to get the 2001.
So, did I say They Live?
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Sorry, I do apologise. I've already got that one. I've got it on the brain at the minute. No, it's Prince of Darkness that's coming out. So, yeah, all good.
Okay. So, Steve, tell us what you've been watching, because it's exactly the same as one of the things I have.
Well, I haven't really seen a lot this week. I have been, actually, to be honest, we finished Grey's Anatomy Season 14 and with the missus, so we're going to have a break from that for now. Let Season 15 finish, and then we'll binge it.
Yeah.
Which I think would be a better way. In the meantime, I've gone back to watching some Flash and some Arrow. I watched an episode of Legends of Tomorrow last night.
Yeah, that is poor this time.
Which is a summer camp one. Did you see that one? Did you get to watch that one, should I say? Have you watched?
That's the first one, isn't it? Or the second one? Is that the one with the unicorn?
No.
No. That's the one. Yeah, no, that one is equally awful. Yeah. And it's got them in the woods.
This is the one where they're at a summer camp.
Yes.
Because Swamp Thing, the movie, ended up being Swamp Thang for some reason.
Yeah. Probably for copyright reasons.
Possibly. But yeah, so there's not a great deal at the moment. I've been looking for some new TV shows to actually see what's about in and about.
Yeah.
And
well, I've got one for you shortly.
Yes, but other than that, what's been more importantly is that on the 17th of the 1st, Star Trek Discovery premiered for season 2.
Yes, and what a premiere it was.
And wow, I mean, they gave this premiere in the States, they gave it really a lot of love because they had a lot of people on a catwalk somewhere.
Yeah.
And Greggy from the old gamers side of things was doing the hosting for it.
Was it?
Yeah. I was watching it live before I went to bed. And
I didn't see it live.
Yeah, it was on via Facebook. So you could see it. They were streaming, chatting to everyone and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But wow, what a start to the series.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. I mean,
without diving too deep into this at the moment,
no.
I think they really hit it with a high to start off.
Yeah, and I quite like the way that they were explaining the differences in the Enterprise uniform with the Discoveries.
Do you want to elaborate that?
Well, obviously the Enterprise uniforms are like the bright coloured blue, red and yellow or gold tops, whereas the Discovery ones are like blue sort of suits with
gold trim, isn't it?
Yeah. And, well, basically, that's not, they're not the same. You would think, well, how come, how can that be like all the same Starfleet? But sort of like saying that different ships, that being the Enterprise is that one of the flagships is that they have slightly different uniforms. And I've got to admit, Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike, he's fantastic. I really like him as a captain.
I think he pulled it off, didn't he?
Yeah. Jason Isaacs, you might be getting knocked off the number 2 slot.
But I think there's still rumours that Jason Isaacs will be coming back at some point.
I think he will. And do you know what told me it did?
You mean that note?
Yeah, because there's a scene with Michael Burnham and Christopher Pike in Lorca's ready room, and Pike finds a piece of paper underneath the desk, and there is a message on, and I can't remember for the life of me what that message said now, but I messaged you and I said, that's it, that's the confirmation.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, when you messaged me that, I was just about to watch the episode, so I had to go away.
So you knew what to look out for?
Well, yes, and then because it looked like it came out of one of those fortune cookies, didn't it?
Well, he did have fortune cookies on his desk, do you remember?
Yeah, so that's where it probably came out from.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to find it because you took a picture of it, didn't you, on your phone?
I did, yeah.
What the message was.
I paused it.
You paused it. It says, not every cage is a prison, which I think is a bit of a nod to the Menagerie episode where Captain Christopher Pike ends up going in this universe.
Which hasn't happened yet.
Which hasn't happened. It's like 10, 15 years in the future. But also it says, not every loss is eternal. And I think that that's a message about Lorca.
Mm.
So I think there's an Easter egg and Lorca's going to come back message in that. I think that's why, because otherwise, why have that underneath his desk? Yeah. Don't forget that Lorca was the Mirror Universe's Lorca, not this universe's Lorca, but also Lorca disintegrated, supposedly, falling into that reactor core.
Hmm.
But there's nothing to say that he couldn't have been getting beamed out instead.
Oh, no, but I think we'll be looking at a different Lorca, like from our time, that timeline.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, will he be the real one, or will he be a lookalike?
Do apologise for this, guys.
Anyway, God, that was good.
Oh no, it's dreadful.
It's only dreadful because you didn't think it.
No, it's not that. It just makes me cringe.
That's the whole point of dad jokes. Oh, I'm getting him down to a really annoying fine art now.
Yeah. Anyhow, just a couple of things in there. I must admit, I would have loved to have seen him go on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
But they didn't have time, and obviously seeing Spock as a child and being a bit of a spoilt brat at that point.
Yes.
I like what I would like to see now. Now this is just completely off the back, but would you like to see Captain Pike's years leading up to Captain Kirk taking over the Enterprise?
Yeah.
Could they do a TV show now at some point with having Captain Pike's adventures? And even I would love to see the Menagerie remade in that show.
Yeah, I think we could.
Seeing the Thelosians, and you don't want to take it too far because you don't want to remake the original series because that's just not going to happen.
No, but then it gives its loop. It feeds into the original show. Yeah,
that's right. And obviously, there's probably a lot of things that have happened. But 10 years seems a long time, to be honest. And maybe Captain Pike did have a 10-year, because he was talking about his 5-year mission, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Which he mentioned in that show.
Mm.
But yeah, I just thought, they've done it really well.
They have. This is Star Trek brought up to date.
Mm. When he sat in the captain's chair, and he was just about to say to the helmsman to let's go for it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
What did you think he was going to say? Because I really thought at one point he was going to say punch it, but he said hit it.
I knew he was going to say hit it because it was in the advert.
Oh, was it? I've not seen that one.
Yeah, I'd seen the adverts of it, and it showed him saying hit it.
Yeah.
So I knew that's what he was going to say. So I was kind of expecting that, to be honest. But
yeah,
he's a I like him as an actor as well. That I think he played a good part. Played a very sort of likable captain. I think he wrote his character well, and more what you would expect a starship captain coming in to a crew where their previous captain had deceived them.
Yeah.
So I think they did a really good job.
I think there's a few little comical moments.
Yeah.
There was even in the lift where that alien was in there.
Yeah.
But no, we don't happen too much because I don't want to bore the people here. But it was fantastic to see, and we look forward to the next episode.
Yeah, only nearly a week to go.
Yeah, I know. Why can't they give us the whole show?
Well, they did that with Teen Titans, or half of the show.
Yeah.
Which was really good. So, anyway, my show, which I think you'll enjoy, is called Norsemen, and it's on Netflix. So, it's set in 790 AD, and it's about, Vikings, and it's just the daily lives of people living in a small Viking village, from all of the power struggles that they have, about rivalry, gender equality, betrayal and friendship, basically. That's, it's all of that sort of stuff in there. But basically, it's if you imagine, it's a bit like everybody has today's values, but are all Vikings.
Right.
So I'm probably going to do a really bad Viking accent in a minute. But, someone will say something, And they'll be, well, don't you think that's a bit racist? You know, or something like that. So it's that kind of that sort of humour. And some people are like politically correct and stuff like that. But it's also really, really gruesome. You know, there is blood splattered, limbs cut off, and all of that. So it's got all of like the brutality.
Yeah.
But, you know, and obviously everybody's really heavily accented, but they're all speaking English as well. That's the basic thing. But, you know, there's all sorts of humorous sort of things in there. It's like, you know, the most evil guy on the show, who turns up at season 2, actually, he gets both of his hands chopped off, and then he has to get replacements. And they're saying this is like state of the art, and basically it's leather with a few twigs sticking out at the end of it. You know, this is a modern prosthesis, you know, and stuff like that. And it's just, it makes fun of everything and everyone. You know, no one is really safe. So it's not like you're saying it's, you know, they're being racist or anything to anyone, to any in particular group. It's just that's the humour for everyone, including each other. You know, and it's just such a good laugh. It's a bit of a refreshing change, really. Yeah. When you transplant like people who, you know, who are living in those times, but implanting in them the modern day values. So it's like, you know, one of them says something and it says, I don't know what you mean. And it says, well, I've invented this, you know, modern new linguistic skill. It's called lying. You know, and stuff like that. And I'm going to be using it in more conversations in the future. And that sort of thing, you know, it's that sort of joke as well. But there's a few seasons of this, and I think there's about 12 episodes in total. Yeah,
I've just looked at 6 episodes a season, isn't it?
Yeah, it's worth a watch if you're not offended easily by stuff, and you're quite happy with humour that just takes the mick out of anybody who walks past. It's all right. If you are offended in any way, shape or form, or if you're squeamish, don't bother watching it, because it ain't going to be for you in a month of Sundays. But,
cool.
Yeah, so that's my little thing.
Okay.
So, shall we move on to Tech Talk?
Yeah.
From the laboratories of...
Okay, we haven't had Tech Talk for absolutely ages, so I thought I would just I've got a few things that I'm going to bring over the next few weeks. So first off this week, I just wanted to tell people about something called the Retroflag Mega Pi. Have you heard of this?
Well, I do have a Pi sitting there on my desk that's not being used at the minute.
Right, okay. When we're talking about Pi, by the way, we're talking about a computer on a board. We're not talking about steak and kidney.
Or American Pie.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, you know how we have, like, you know, the PlayStation Mini, we have Classic, we have the NES Mini, whatever. Well, in terms of this, a company called Retroflag has created a case which pays homage to the Sega Mega Drive, and it's called the Mega Pi. So this is a bare bones case, and it is, you know, like I said, styled exactly like a Mega Drive case, or Genesis. Was it Genesis? Wasn't it? It was called in America. And it fits, I think, most models, but I've got a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, and it fits perfectly in there. Size-wise, it's about the same size as the PlayStation Classic. So, you know, about, 4 inches by 3, something like that. Literally, basically not much bigger than the board itself. There is a storage area for the cartridge slot, which is hidden. So you lift up something and you can put in a new boot drive, for your Retroflag, because they all run off SD cards. And also there is a hidden area on the underside which has the ability to hide like your USB and Wi-Fi dongles on there, and also you can trace your cable in for your LAN if you're using LAN instead. So that's the hidden ones. There's 2 front-facing USB slots like normal, because that's part of the main board, which you can plug directly in, and obviously the slots for your HDMI are free for you to be able to output there as well. But there is also, if you remember the disc sort of shaped circle at the top of the Mega Drive, there is that is actually like a little hidden compartment, so you can open that up and you can put in your spare SD cards or whatever in there.
Yeah, I'm looking one on Amazon.
Yeah, it's probably about 30 quid on Amazon, but they've been 15 you can get them for. This one
is $29.99, and it comes with a fan as well to plug on.
Yeah, there's enough room for you to plug on a little fan onto the CPU as well.
And also comes with a nice little case for it.
Yeah.
A little sort of one of those pull bags.
Yeah. But it's absolutely gorgeous little thing. And I'll tell you what else I like about this as well. And this was a big, big selling point for me, was I don't know whether or not how you've got your Raspberry Pi set up, but in order to switch it off, I have to physically unplug it from the wall, because it doesn't have a switch either on the standard case or anywhere else.
I have to have a look at I think I bought my Pi about a year ago.
Yeah. About 18 months ago, wasn't it?
Maybe. So it's what mine's going to be, it's going to be a 3A? A 3?
3B plus, because mine's about 2 years old.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, in order, if you've got the official power adapter, it doesn't have an on-off switch, but this gives you an on-off switch. So you just switch it on just like you would, your old Mega Drive or whatever. And it's got a little power LED light that shows on as well when it's powered. I do think that if you use a 1 volt USB, it doesn't give it enough power. So I think you have to use a slightly higher voltage, but don't quote me on that. But excuse me. It looks absolutely superb. It is really, really easy to fit as well. When you take it out of the box, which is also designed with, the look of the Mega Drive in mind. When you take it out, you just open it up. It's not screwed together, and inside there's a little bag with some screws and a Phillips head screwdriver to go with it, a very small one. So you don't even need to have any other tools. And then you literally turn your Pi upside down, if I remember rightly, and connect.
All the filling falls out. Go and tell me. All the filling falls out.
No, it doesn't. You connect your ribbon cable. Because you have to connect your ribbon cable to the port on the main board with all of the spikes coming off. That has to fit on a certain way, but that then controls the power going to the board.
Right.
And switching it on and off, and then just literally close it together, put the screws together, and as long as you've lined up everything, because when I did it first time, the board was, even though I couldn't see it, just a few millimetres out, which meant I couldn't get the SD card back into the unit. But once you've done that, it's fine. And really easy to do. Literally a 2-minute job to put it together.
So what size memory stick did you put in it?
I think
SD
I've got,
card.
32 or 64 gig one in there. Because at the moment that one has got it's got some of my old Commodore Amiga games on that. Some of the ones that have got on my main Amiga, but I can't play because some of the discs have become a bit corrupted. So, I'd already, got that information, stored in a file. So you could just use Retroflag Pi to play it. And then with Retro Pi, you can actually just use any controller to, play games on whatever system. So you could use an Xbox controller to play if you were lucky enough to have any SNES ROMs, for example. You could put the SNES ROMs on it because it's a game emulator. Bearing in mind the legality of that if you actually do download it and you don't already own the game. And then you could play it on an Xbox controller, for example, or a PlayStation one. But in terms of it as a case, because I bought it for the case for the computer, because what I want to do with this now is actually have this as like, how can I put it? Sort of like as a bit of a media server for my TV downstairs, and see if I can get that working on there with some of my digital copies of movies, and then use it that way. But I thought it'd look quite nice stuck underneath the TV.
Oh.
But it is an absolutely fantastic looking case. To be quite honest, it's just nice having a case and having it sat there on your desk. It's just so small and quaint, as it were. But super easy to do. I've done an installation video for this, and it's on the Pop Culture Gamers YouTube channel as well. So if you want to go and see that, you can.
Yeah, okay. That should be interesting. I need to do something with mine. Mine's been sitting there gathering dust at the minute. I've not had time to play with it. Yeah,
you can also get a pack with this and an actual Mega Drive controller or pair of controllers as well. I think that's about £30.
Yeah. That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But the great thing is, the PlayStation Classic comes with 2 PlayStation 1 era pre-DualShock controllers that are USB. How cool's that?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Plugging an Xbox controller into a Mega Drive will look a bit odd, though.
Yeah, it would. Be a bit odd playing like an Amiga game on a PS1 controller. But there you go. Anyway, that's my bit of tech talk. I don't know if you've got anything that you want to add in there.
Not really. I'd like to get some. I'd like to probably actually make. It'd be nice to have a PS1 at one, actually, wouldn't it? I know that you've got the one you can fork out £50 for.
Yeah.
But if you could put one together yourself.
What a case. I mean, if you had a 3D printer, you could 3D print it, couldn't you?
True, yeah, you could do.
But
I'm sure they're out there somewhere for that.
Oh, yeah, you can download the things for it, the plans. But they do have other cases, but they are only at the moment. They only seem to be Sega and Nintendo sort of styling. But I don't know why that is, because I would have thought that the PS1, rather than the original PlayStation, would have been an absolutely ideal candidate for Retroflag to copy. But maybe they can't do because of copyright reasons or whatever.
Yeah, and also them bringing their own version out as they have done anyway.
Yeah.
Probably would be a no, so yeah.
Yeah, because the other thing I was thinking of in terms of using the Retroflag, or rather the Pi, was actually connecting it permanently to a small touchscreen monitor that had access to, the family Google Calendar, so that we could always see where each other is. I thought that would be quite cool.
Yeah. There's numerous ways what you can do with these things, isn't there?
Yeah, because that's one of the things I'm thinking about doing it, because you can buy like a touchscreen, a small touchscreen for virtually nothing. And it'd just make it look a bit funky if it was sort of like mounted on the wall. underneath a little screen, you know.
Yeah.
Just probably won't appeal to the missus, but it definitely appeals to me. Anyway, shall we move on to listener questions?
Yep.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so we've got listener questions again, and this week, Mark, as always, is starting off, and I'm not quite sure what he's wrote here, but what he's saying is, I think, do you think that there's such a thing where you can be on form in gaming one day, and you're good at a game on one day, but you go back the next day to be poor at it?
And it's so true.
So true, yeah.
It is. I mean, there's sometimes I've been in a game and I'm struggling on a level or some point, and you're that frustrated. You just put it down, walk away, have a cup of tea, come back, and whether it's 1 hour, 2 hour, or a day,
or a week, or a month, or in my case, years,
you pull it off.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I think that my record has been about 3 or 4 years for Resident Evil 5.
Don't say about that.
No, neither do I. I think the programming glitched on me, to be quite honest. But anyway, I think that it can happen where you can be bad and then get good on your next game. But I also think it can go the other way, because you only need a slight break in games like Destiny, and then all of a sudden, where on earth are you? You I'm sure you've had it with the Crucible, where you've had a break and gone back, and you're not at top form, are you?
No, you're not.
No.
I'm used to playing Gambit at the moment, and don't get me wrong, give me a couple of games and I sort of get into it.
Yeah.
But you get hammered. You think, what are we doing wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I was getting, I was fine. Well, I don't really play multiplayer, but as you know, but when we were doing, player versus environment, I was going in there, I was getting headshots really fast and stuff like that. Now I feel like, like a noob's brain everywhere when I play the game, because I've lost the motor control in my thumb for looking again. And it just takes a few goes to get that back. So I think, you can, and also you're affected by everything. Your stress level, how tired you are you hungry, are you thirsty, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I do think it can have a bigger impact. Especially if you're dehydrated, because that does do strange things to your brain.
Yeah, true. It does, doesn't it?
It does. Anyway, do you want to do Mark's next question?
Yeah. So this is going to be how do I put it? Mystic Meg.
Yeah.
What will be the biggest flop game related or otherwise to 2019?
Anthem?
That's what I was going to say. I know I keep seeing video footage of some of the YouTubers I sort of have in high standard regards, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think Kingdom Hearts should be fine.
I think you're pretty safe with Kingdom Hearts, aren't you, in terms
of... Resident Evil will be, I'm sure that'd be fine as well. But Anthem's a new IP, and EA are involved, so I don't know. I'm going to say that for now. Prove me wrong, EA. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Maybe the new Star Wars game. I'll tell you what has been the biggest flop of recent, though, whether or not you like it or not.
I don't even go down that route.
Well, let's put it this way. It should be called Fallout 85.
Yeah,
because it's 85% off on CD keys. It's now £8.49 is Fallout.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
That's on PC, obviously, which is always a bit cheaper. But even so, it's still rocketed down in stores.
I don't want to talk about it. I really don't. I really just...
Doesn't it boil your pee though with it?
I don't know, boiling it. About like I just want to explode, but yeah, it's. hey ho.
Yeah. Okay. So, what about anything else? Any other thoughts on what might or might not be a flop?
I don't know, really. EA came to mind. Obviously, everyone will probably be screaming Crackdown at us.
Well, all PlayStation fanboys will be, but...
But, no, I don't know. I think most things are going to be okay. I mean, it's always something that doesn't work. I mean, you would have thought Mass Effect would fail.
Yeah, but to be honest, going back to it, as I have recently, it's not as bad as you remember, especially not now. They've put a lot of work into getting that game right the way it should have been. And I would say, actually, it is now one of the games that you should try. Because it's really cheap or free if you're on Xbox and you're in EA Access. It's worth a shot. And if you're on PC, I think it's about $6.99, something like that. Definitely worth, considering. To be quite honest with you, I'll tell you what I can't believe. I was looking. The cost of Unity on the PC is like tenner, but you go to the Xbox version, it's about 50p.
Yeah, that one was going free for a while, quite cheap, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but it suffered a lot, did that game. That was another perfect example of a game that was a flop. But, yeah, what about any films or anything that you think might not play so well?
I think the big ones are all accounted for well and truly. Thinking what's coming out in the future, I can't think of anything that's going to fail.
I must admit, I'm kind of worried about the new Star Wars one now. I mean, J.J. Abrams, in him we trust, but he's going to have to really pull it out of the bag. I think Shazam's going to be a flop. I might be wrong, but I don't get a good feeling about that. Anything else? Just try to think of what other ones that are on. I'm quite looking forward to Zombieland. I don't think that'll too. I don't think that'll be.
Yeah.
They're doing a remake of the Addams Family.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that at all. And they're evidently doing a Sonic the Hedgehog movie as well.
Well, why? I don't know.
I have no idea why. No idea at all. And an untitled Jumanji thing, and an untitled Terminator reboot. That's got all the potential for being a disaster.
Yeah.
Especially after Genesis.
Well, there's a few reboots of TV shows coming out probably over the next couple of years. Some bits and pieces, isn't there? So
yeah. Mostly with Star and Wars in the names.
Yeah, there probably will be.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. But I think there's a lot of good stuff coming. A lot of good stuff. Anyway, do you want to... it's my turn, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It is.
Facebook.
I'm doing Nicky's question. His first question. He's had two. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is getting a reboot this year. Why? Did you watch it back in the day? If so, what are some of your favourite characters and episodes? And are you a Team Buffy or Team Angel?
I don't remember too much of it now.
Yeah.
But I was always a Team Buffy any day of the week.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Angel, he moved on, didn't he? Because he ended up being in Bones.
Yeah, he did. But he also ended up with Charisma Carpenter as well, didn't he? On the show. Which always seemed to me to be a bit odd. But yeah, I mean, I think he's done other stuff as well, hasn't he? Isn't he in like a military one or something now?
He did. There was a Sky TV show that came on where he was involved in a Iraq-style type of action show.
Yeah. So you were Team Buffy.
Yeah.
So who was your favourite character?
I did like actually the one. Actually, we can't say Buffy because that'd be too easy, wouldn't it?
No. If it's generally your favourite character.
I did like. No, I can't remember the character's name. I'm gonna have to.
Well, just tell us which one it was, and
I'll have to look myself. To be honest,
was it Giles?
No, it was
Willow.
It was Willow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always had a soft spot for Alison.
Yeah, I have to admit. Yeah, I would completely agree with those sentiments. It was just something about her character.
Well, that and then when she was in American Pie later on,
yeah,
all those.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah,
although
right.
I've not watched her in that Meet Your Mother one, whatever it's called.
No, How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. Yeah,
yeah.
I've not watched her in that at all. Well, she is in that, isn't she? For me, I preferred Buffy. As a matter of fact, I've got all of Buffy and Angel on DVD. I've been seriously thinking about actually saying goodbye to them because I haven't watched them for a long, long time. But I do have them all on DVD.
Sarah Michelle Gellar though, she was a bit stunning, I must admit.
She never really did it for me, to be honest.
No,
I preferred what was her name? The one that came after her when she died in one of the seasons. Do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember being heavily invested in it, even though I did watch it. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I've actually watched Buffy for 10 years.
I haven't for such a long time, no. But she was in Scream as well, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
and also she was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, another good horror film of the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Actually, it was Scream 2, not Scream 1, but yeah, Scream 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what her name was. Because there was a lot of, because they brought in Michelle Trachtenberger's Dawn Summers, and she was like the key as well, wasn't she? And then Willow became lesbian, and her romance was Tara McClare, that character who was a witch, and Xander on there went out with a demon called Anya. Do you remember that?
No, it all passes me by now, to be honest.
And you had Giles from the coffee advert. It was Faith, that's who I liked. Eliza Dushku. She was... I liked her character because she was sort of like a bit more hardcore than Buffy was. Harder, not playing by the rules, that sort of stuff. I did watch Angel as well. I thought Angel had some really good, strong seasons, to be honest. I quite liked it when they took over the law firm, which I think was the last season. Yeah, so I like both shows. It's just I've not watched them for so long. But I think Buffy was one of the first shows to go to widescreen format as well.
Yeah, a lot of it's passed me by now. It's such a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, how long ago was it? 96 to 2003.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a long time ago. We didn't even have Blu-rays, for God's sake.
No, exactly.
Hence why I've got it on DVD. Okay, do you want to do Alan's one then?
Okay, so Alan Cochrane's, what's your favourite video game soundtrack? You go first.
I knew that you would. I would say Mass Effect. That trilogy, to be honest. I really did like the music in that. I thought it just sounded absolutely superb. I think Alan's given us a link to Super Castlevania 4 as his favourite one. But for me, I would say Mass Effect is probably my favourite music.
Well, some of the most soothing and sort of memento, I don't know the right word to use now, to music in games of old was Fallout and Skyrim.
I could have guaranteed you were going to say two Bethesda games.
Because they are really heavy in music for the open world.
Yeah.
And I've got Fallout and Vinyl now, and I've got Fallout 3, sorry. But I do like, now I've been playing a bit of it because I've now got the game, is the latest Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's a good...
It so fits like the movies, the soundtrack. It's really strong.
Mm.
But I say I've always, and rightly so with Mass Effect. That's a very strong soundtrack.
Mm.
Even God of War is as well, actually.
Yeah, God of War did have some very good music, very dramatic. I mean, I don't think that you can turn around and say something like the 2009 or 10 game of Star Trek, because that took music straight from the cinema, just like you can't turn around and say all of the Star Wars games as well. Although there was a quite funky version of the Imperial March done on one of the games.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But there's, I think a lot of the retro games now they are, I suppose. They've all got their. I mean, even Red Dead Redemption is pretty good. So,
what about Manic Miner with?
There was some annoying ones, I think. Remember rightly?
Yeah, I'll tell you one that was good. From 1984 and has continued in the franchise ever since. The Blue Danube on Elite.
Well, that's classical, so that's not even video game music, to be honest.
It's a track in a video game.
Oh, it is, yeah, but it's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
But it's not 2001: A Space Odyssey, the video game.
No, but what I'm saying is that...
I know what you're saying. I'm just being...
You're being pedantic, are you?
I am. But I am pedantic.
But it did work very well when you were docking in a docking station.
Oh, yeah. It set that game off absolutely perfectly, and that's what I loved about it. Yeah, so I think that there is loads of really good... good video game soundtracks, to be quite honest with you. I mean, when you look at like Company of Heroes and stuff, that sort of stuff as well. I've had so many on the Humble Bundle. Like, they literally throw music soundtracks at you in a lot of the bundles, or certainly they used to do. Whether or not, I think they're less so now. But I've had absolutely loads of soundtracks that I've received from them, in various different sort of formats, and I think that there are so many. I'm just having a look at some of the ones, just seeing if I can think. Darksiders was quite a good sort of soundtrack. Let's have a look. Just try to any of the ones that they've actually given me. Limbo was it was fitting for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Orchestra, that was quite a good one if I remember rightly. Yeah, there's quite a few. They fit into the games that they're designed for mostly, I think.
The thing is, you won't think of all of them until you end up playing games and think, that was good. You know what I mean? You forget. It's easy.
But the new Spider-Man game's definitely got a good soundtrack.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. And I actually quite like some of the music from Destiny.
No, that is, yeah. I've got the Forsaken soundtrack, which came to me as a freebie from Bungie.
How come?
Well, for doing one part of the game, when you completed Forsaken, They offered it to you in an email.
I never got that email.
And you could download it between a certain date. And I downloaded the soundtrack for The Forsaken.
That's weird because we both finished it at the same time, and I never got that email.
Well, I don't know. Was the Dreaming City not finished? Maybe because I left. I've only just literally finished doing that. Yeah, that might have been a part of it. And also, yeah, it's quite a good soundtrack actually. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it's when they get soundtracks that really fit the game. That's when it's good, isn't it? You know, that completely complements it.
Mm. Speaking of soundtracks, John Williams is just about to start composing Star Wars.
Yeah, for the last time.
Mm.
Da, da, da.
Anyway, should we move on?
Yeah. Do you want to do
Craig's?
Yes.
Okay, so he's saying, do you think that Season's Diablo style would work in Destiny 2? Maybe something Bungie could take from them when they leave Activision.
Aren't they already doing that? We have Seasons already.
Well, we do have something called Seasons. We're on season 5 at the minute.
Yeah, and you get like unique stuff in that.
Obviously, the deal with the DLC and the season pass, they're giving you stuff to instead of story content, you're getting stuff to do.
Yeah,
because the season 6 starts in March.
Yeah,
so I'm looking forward to that. It's not far away, to be honest. So to a certain degree, I think they probably are. I don't know what Craig thinks about that, but I'm sure he'll let us know.
Yeah, I mean, because they do things like you have the rifts, don't they, in Seasons, and specific objectives. So maybe that's more what he's talking about.
But we do with the Dreaming City, there's a 3-week turnaround for a different cycle of activities.
Yeah.
So, and they obviously have the Ascendant each week, as differently each week.
I need to catch up on all of this because I don't know what half of it is that you're talking about.
There is so much to do in that game now. The way they've worked out is really clever. I think it's really good, and Craig will totally agree with me on that.
Yeah. Are you there?
Yes, I'm waiting for you.
Sorry, it just...
You're hosting.
It went... and then it stopped, and I thought you sound like you were halfway through a conversation.
Excuse me.
Okay. So, last one. Nikki Wilson. What older movies are you hoping to get a 4K release this year? And what movie do you think will be the first big 4K movie that you have to watch to show off 4K, like Gladiator on DVD and Avatar?
Well, unfortunately, older movies getting in 4K, really, these days, they're not true 4K, are they?
Yeah, they are. They're more 4K. Old movies are more 4K than the modern ones. Because if they're properly converted from the 35mm film, 35mm film will upscale to 8K and 70mm will upscale to 16K. So if you've got a proper remaster of a 4K of a film, for like I don't know, Star Wars, the original cut, that would be...
Yeah, but the thing is, what's happening is a lot of these, they're losing these prints, aren't they? And they're in very poor condition.
Some of them, but if they're remastering them, then they put all of that back. They can restore it.
I mean, I'd still like to see whether or not it would look as good. I mean, it doesn't look bad in the anniversary edition I've got now, but Jaws holds close to my heart. Going back in the day.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
And they have done some restoration work on that already, and it's pretty cool what they've done with it. Do we want to see all the Star Trek movies in 4K now?
Yes. Well, Star Trek the Motion Picture, Star Trek 2...
3, 4...
No, just The Undiscovered Country.
Not 4?
Yeah, the Voyage Home as well,
Yes.
and First Contact.
They'll do them as a bundle anyway, regardless of what ones you like or not.
They do. But if they're gonna do Star Trek, the motion picture, do the director's cut, not the theatrical release. Because I want all that stuff put back in, and it's not going to be hard for them to redo those graphics for the bits that,
That's why I've still got my DVD version.
That's why I have as well. because we're both nerds.
Because they don't, and even the intro is different because the way the lettering of the cast comes up is different.
Yeah,
it's all done just weird, but yeah.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what one I'd like to see done in 4K. I don't think it's out yet, but it might be.
Well, I'm looking at it. I told you it later. I'm looking at it right now. And it's in its second run. We've been doing the podcast that long. It's actually started again.
What?
Because my TV is running something in.
Oh, right. True Lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I'd be just happy for that for a Blu-ray, let alone a 4K Blu-ray. Because I thought, my wife really loves that film as well. Thought that's an Annie film we can both get behind and watch, but I don't want to watch it on DVD. I thought, I know, go on to Amazon or buy it. Couldn't get it for love nor money because it doesn't exist. Not on Blu-ray.
Actually, the DVD cut don't look too bad actually in here. I'd like to put it on see what it looks like upscaled.
It won't look that good.
Well, it might not be too bad.
But in terms of it, well, because there's two parts to this question. So what older movies am I hoping to get? The older movies I'm hoping to get is 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is already just released, and is evidently the movie to watch for 4K science fiction. It's supposed to be the best example. Because they've taken it from the 70mm film of the original, which can upscale up to it can be converted to 16K, and they've remastered it. And I've also remastered that in 8K for the 8K broadcast in Japan. Because that was the first film that has been broadcast anywhere as an 8K movie.
Yeah.
So that will look absolutely amazing. In terms of other movies, old movies, Big Trouble in Little China. I would like to see that. That's
still only if you're lucky in Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've got it on Blu-ray, but getting that, we're talking about if they remastered it to 4K, aren't we? So let's have that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because that is a classic movie. And the Back to the Future trilogy.
I don't think we'll ever see Back to the Future trilogy being up. I think I don't know how you get these films done, or you got to put a protest on for it.
Probably. So yeah, that's what I would say. And also, in terms of what movies should you have that show off 4K, what's the first movie? The Greatest Showman, because that was filmed in 4K, and it's a complete true 4K. The colours are beautiful, the sound is beautiful, everything about that. So the two movies to have are 2001: A Space Odyssey and The Greatest Showman for visuals, for the 4K, because they're both true 4K.
I do agree with you. I don't agree with you about The Last Showman at all.
Have you watched it?
No, I don't intend to either.
So, okay. So what you mean is to say is you don't agree with me with the way that a movie looks, not about story, the way that it looks because you haven't seen it.
You see, I think
that's what you said.
No, but I don't. I'm not going to be. I think Wonder Woman looks good in 4K.
Yeah, but
personally,
that was upscaled from 2.
Doesn't matter.
It's not true 4K, because I could have said Thor Ragnarok, I could have said Infinity War, I could have said Ready Player One, but they were all upscaled. The only other movie that shows off 4K from 4K source material is Blade Runner 2049. Or remasters like The Matrix.
Yeah, I still ain't seen that yet.
So, if you can't really say that you're getting the best quality by looking at.
I'm not sure if it is not, but Valerian looks amazing.
It's 2K, upscaled. Again, but
it still looks good though. So I don't give a damn.
Yeah, it looks better than the Blu-ray. Certainly, because it's upscaled, but you're still not getting the level of quality. See, this is what I mean when I say, I'm not saying The Greatest Showman because of the content of the movie. I'm just talking about very basic colour reproduction and visuals. Yeah? That movie, as I understand it, is played in HDR10, Dolby Vision, and it's also got Dolby Atmos.
2018, we've got Mission Impossible Fallout. Apparently. Solo's apparently real 4K.
No, the graphics weren't all rendered in 4K.
I'm looking at on the 4K Blu-rays forums for 4K fake and real.
Yeah, well, I've got Solo 4K, and I can tell you it's not a patch on The Greatest Showman because the level of detail that film shows. It shows off 4K, and that's what the question is. What's the ones to watch for showing off 4K? No,
yeah, I'm looking at real. I'm just looking at 2018 real and fake.
Yeah.
What movies they got down here in this list?
Yeah.
So they got Tomb Raider as being real 4K. Black Panther.
That was mastered in 2K and is upscaled.
Well, 4kblu-rays.com then are telling lies then. But anyway, that's by the by.
I'm telling you.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm reading. Don't argue with me. Anyway, let's move on. So we're going to get an argument going on here, and I don't want to do that right now.
Okay. Well, that's it, really. We're at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do your contact, Steve?
Yeah, so... Oh, sorry, just went dead for a second. Yeah, so... Steve07 gamertag on the Xbox. PS4 is the real Steve07. And... Is there anything else? Because I'm completely... What is it with me tonight? Am I that tired?
I think you must be. You're not your normal self there, Steve.
Anyway, and Twitter is Steve07 as well. So there you go.
Yeah, it's all wrote down there for you on the page.
So I'm not even reading the page. I'm not even looking at the page at the minute.
That might sort of explain things.
I don't normally need to, but it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting tired.
Yeah. Okay. So my contact details are basically HERJ UK on absolutely everything. PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, Battle.net, Ubisoft, GOG, whatever, what's the year, Origin, all of that sort of stuff. If you want to get in contact with the podcast, then you can email us at podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk. We have our website, popculturegamers.podbean.com. Don't forget also that there is our Facebook group, funnily enough, called Pop Culture Gamers. We have, as mentioned at the beginning of the show, our Amazon Echo skill for Pop Culture Gamers, which you can attach to your device and ask it to launch the podcast and skip through our episodes that way as well. And also, if you would like to support the show, you can do so financially via Patreon, or you can just give us a good review, or maybe even retweet the show and that sort of thing as well. And that's it for another week, another wrap. 1 year. 1 year, mate.
Yes.
Can't quite believe it. We're there, but there we go. Second year, season 2. Here we come. So thanks for listening. Thanks for your support, everyone. And it's a good night from me.
And a good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.